Okay guys, today we're going to be going over, in my opinion, some of the best blue fragrances that you can buy in 2025. A blue fragrance, I think we all kind of know what that is at that point, but they're fragrances that have a lot of ambroxan, let's just put it that way. There's going to be some other little small details as well that could help classify a blue fragrance, but that's kind of generally what you're looking at. Obviously, blue fragrances are very popular. They have been for a while now and are still continuing to be. And why are they so popular? Mostly just because of the sheer complement factor and the versatility that they offer. They can be worn anytime, anywhere, for any situation, just in general. You know, they're super, super wearable. You really can't mess them up. So let's go over some of the best ones that you can purchase in this day and age. Starting off with YSL Odaparfam by YSL. This is by far the most popular YSL fragrance, at least by a long shot. I would say maybe a couple of the newer ones, Odaparfam Intense and maybe even the new Le Parfum 2025, will start to ramp up and get more popular as time goes on. But this one has been out for quite a bit longer and has had much more time to really get discovered and kind of hyped up. But I mean, when you look at all of the major retailers and discounters and you sort by best selling, YSL Odaparfam is usually on the first page. This one uses a lot of apple with some geranium, a lot of amberwood, maybe some other citrus as well. So essentially the amberwood's your ambroxan, a sweet apple, geranium, sage, lavender type of deal going on. So a bit aromatic, fruity, and blue from that ambroxan amberwood. That's basically what this one is. All wrapped up into an Eau de Parfum concentration with 12+ hour longevity. This stuff is very, very strong. That is one of the key reasons why it has gotten so popular, along with the fact that everybody loves the stuff. So you guys know, at least if you've been keeping up with the channel, my personal preference these days is the Eau de Parfum Intense and even the new Le Parfum 2025. Those two are amazing. But when it comes down to more traditional blue fragrance style and just also achieving what people are really wanting when it comes to looking at blue fragrances in particular as far as the category is concerned, I think the Eau de Parfum is the better fit. You know, I just think it more so is going to do kind of what you're expecting it to do, whereas the Eau de Parfum Intense, Le Parfum 25, they're a little bit of a different variant. Now this next one is going to be a little bit more expensive, although price has dropped substantially over the years. It is Roja Parfums Elysium in the Parfum Cologne format. At this point, you can get it below $200. It used to be $220, $230, somewhere around in there on discounters all day long, and it usually wouldn't budge too much off of that, maybe even $240. And the retail price was somewhere around like $290 to $300. These days, I've seen it for as low as like $170, $180 or so. And generally, when deals like that do pop up, I send out an email to my mailing list, which is completely free, and you can sign up to it by clicking the link down below. Anytime something rare, discontinued, or hard to find comes into stock, or a good deal comes along, or a big sale pops up, I send out an email notifying the email subscribers and allows you to get some good deals and some savings along the way. So make sure you check that out. But Elysium, the price has adjusted quite a bit in favor of what we would be after, which is a lower price. Now, I still understand that that is still pricey, and so there are clones out there. Fragrance World Imperium, FOMO, a Fragheads Asylum are two to name, just a couple of them off the top of my head, that smell very similar at a fraction of the cost. But Elysium, it's got the vetiver, the grapefruit, the bergamot, the blackcurrant, the apple, all sorts of citruses and fruits off the top with a nice vetiver dry down and a healthy dose of, they call it ambergris, more than likely ambroxan in the base as well, giving it that blue fragrance smell. Ultimate versatility. I've never had an issue with performance on the Parfum Cologne, although some people have. The Parfum is an option as well, or any of the clones, but this stuff works. Let's go for Rasasi Hawas up next. Blue fragrance inspired for sure. It's Invictus Acqua leaning, but with a little bit of a twist. It's got plum off the opening, quite a bit of apple, bergamot, same thing. C notes as well, and then ambroxan, a whole bunch of it as well. I mean, it is, man, it's a beauty for summertime. It could work all year round for sure. It's not really going to hurt anything. For me though, it is a summer scent all the way. It just has this uplifting, bright, summery feeling that just puts me in a good mood. It just kind of uplifts me and just makes me excited to go outdoors and just enjoy the warm weather. That's what this one's always done for me. That's what I like so much about it. I will point this out really quick. This bottle's old, okay? Over the years, the color has changed. Sometimes the liquid itself will be bluish, sometimes a little bit more purple. These days, usually I haven't seen it clearish like this. So don't panic, don't freak out. I don't have a fake. Chances are, if you're buying from places like Joe Machot, Fragrance By, Fragrance Net, you don't have a fake either, okay? So yes, they have changed the coloration a bit over the years, and there have been some variances. I've seen it, again, bluish, more purple as well. So something to keep in mind. You know, if you're buying from complete random sellers on eBay and stuff, it's kind of a crapshoot for the most part. Stick with the major discounters and you're not going to get a fake of Versace House, okay? So just wanted to toss it out there because it is a little bit confusing how they've changed the look. I mean, I like the blue, I like the purple. I also like that OG, almost clearish color too. I mean, the whole bottle itself is pretty aesthetically pleasing, which is a nice little bonus. Let's go for Light Blue Eau Intense by Dolce & Gabbana. Very popular, of course. It is simply a more intense version of the original light blue. No surprise, really. And because we're talking about blue, I just wanted to toss this in here real quick. Gorilla Mind. This is the blue raspberry. Tastes great. You know, we're talking about blue fragrances, and if you like energy drinks, I would check this out. More Plates, More Dates. Derek, he is a fragrance enthusiast. He has his own brand or line of fragrances, and he actually did a video way back on Invictus Acqua 2016, which is pretty cool. That's one of my favorite fragrances. This was obviously back a long time ago, and so he's pretty actively involved in the fragrance community. That's his line of energy drinks. He has a bunch of pre-workouts and some other supplements and protein bars as well. I just wanted to toss that in there because he did send over a nice care package of those energy drinks, and they taste wonderful. 200 milligrams of caffeine, it'll get you going. Definitely something checking out if you do like energy drinks and that sort of thing. But yeah, Light Blue Eau Intense it's a nice salty aquatic with a blue twist. So you're getting the salty sea notes and then quite a bit of amberwood / ambroxan to give it that blue fragrance vibe that we're kind of after here. Decent performance out of this one, not beast mode, but still more than enough to get you through the day for the most part. Let's go for Bleu de Chanel Odaparfam up next. Now this stuff is an iconic classic. I don't think a blue fragrance video would be complete without some sort of Bleu de Chanel. Now, luckily, you only have 3 to choose from. This is a brand that does not go down the flanker rabbit hole. They're very selective with what they release, which I think adds a lot of value to the brand because you're not getting overloaded and overwhelmed with a whole bunch of choices. So for me personally, I'm biased towards the EDP and the Parfum. The Parfum is heavier, richer, more dense, still blue fragrance, but not as much as your traditional Eau de Parfum / Eau de Toilette variant. And I think in most instances, it would be better to purchase the Eau de Parfum or the Parfum. You're already spending the money. With the Eau de Parfum, you're getting increased performance over the Eau de Toilette. You're getting a better, more well-rounded scent overall. And so I would go that way. And especially if you're looking for that blue fragrance style, the Eau de Parfum is unbeatable. Let's go for Acqua di Gio Profondo, a favorite of mine because of how unique it smells, and it's a unique take on the aquatic DNA, which is on its own not unique at all. I mean, there are so many aquatic fragrances, and when you look at the cheaper fragrance brands out there, a lot of them are fresher, aquatic leaning because that's kind of the cheapest and easiest to produce, really, compared to your heavy, rich tobacco, kind of boozy, smoky style scents. Those are a little bit more complex, whereas it's a lot easier just to slap together a fresh aquatic and then start selling it. So your Calvin Kleins and your cheaper designer brands typically are going to be of that variety. However, Armani, and more specifically, Alberto Marias, still managed to produce a really unique smelling aquatic with Profondo. It has the mineral notes, which is what makes this stand out. it really smells oceanic in a way that I just haven't smelled before from a cologne, and I think that's saying something. It still has that blue fragrance type of smell going on just from the dosage of ambroxan that's in here. They don't really list off ambroxan officially on the note breakdown if I'm remembering correctly, but you can kind of tell that it's there. And I would venture to say that a lot of modern day men's fragrances are using ambroxan to some extent. Even if they're not listing it, even if it's not super strong, it's probably hidden in there somewhere. Same with like ISO E-Super and some other aroma chemicals like that. Now this next one, more affordable, Missoni Wave. Usually around $35 to $40 for this one. And it's a mixture. A little bit of Chanel Allure Homme Sport, a little bit of Versace Pour Homme. Just taking the best of both worlds. The freshness of the Versace, the creamier sweetness of the Chanel. This one is wonderful for the price. It's about the same price as the Versace, but it's mixing both of those together into one for that same price. So if you were to buy both of them, you know, you would be spending way more than just buying this by itself. The only downside to this, I would say, is performance isn't going to keep up with some of the others. You know, this won't keep up with Howes or YSL Odaparfam, and even Profondo. You know, a little bit on the weaker side. Not to the point where I would write this one off or condemn this and say, oh, don't buy it because it's completely weak. Everybody has their opinion or standard or baseline on what type of performance that they want, so that's going to be up to you, but it's not that bad on me to where I would say don't mess with it. There are some scents out there that are so weak that they're not worth buying. This definitely isn't one. You know, it's important to keep your priorities or your expectations in check, and not everything can be 10+ hour performing, but for the price, this one is so good and definitely worthwhile. Let's go for Dunhill Century Blue up next. This stuff is unique, to say the least. It's got that ambroxan, quite a bit of it, with a bit of iris in here. So that's where this one stands out. You don't really see iris mixed with the blue fragrance variety all that often. Of course, some citruses as well, as you would kind of expect from this type of style. It's fresh, it's a little bit watery, aromatic, bit of an iris, but a fresher iris, more of like a soapy, light floral iris, and then blue ambroxan to top it off. It's one that will help you to stand out. If the Ys and the, you know, light blues and Acqua de Joe style doesn't really excite you because maybe they're a bit too common in your area, or you just feel as though it's not unique enough, this one might be one that would get you a little bit more excited, so to speak, in terms of this might be one that will kind of push you in that direction of being a little bit more unique and kind of standing out. Running down to the end of this video with Prada Lunarosa Carbon. This bottle's about empty. I've had this thing forever. You know, it's pretty similar to Sauvage, although it doesn't have that, you know, really strong, peppery bite that Sauvage Eau de Toilette has. This is more smooth, actually a little bit more sweet than Sauvage, which is why I like it so much. And this came out before Sauvage EDP. So at the time, if Sauvage Eau de Toilette, that was the only one that there was, if that was too punchy, too strong, too sharp for you, well, you could get Prada Lunarosa Carbon for, at the time, half the price, and then you would have something that's smoother and sweeter. Now, over the years, obviously we have Sauvage, EDP, Parfum, and so on, but also the price on this has gone up. It used to be $50 on discounters, now it's like $70 to $80. So not really the affordable Sauvage alternative anymore, but even if it's not, it's still a difference in smell. And some people prefer the smell and the wearing experience of this over Sauvage. You know, it's hard for me to pick a favorite because I do love the Sauvage lineup so much. I also love this, and for me, there's no need to pick a favorite. If I'm feeling more like a sweet Sauvage, I go for this. If I want that bright, potent freshness, then I'll just go for Sauvage Eau de Toilette. Just different types of scents for different scenarios and different moods. But this one is a really nice one to have around, especially for situations where you actually might be a little bit more dressed up. You know, this could go a little bit more formal than the regular Sauvage could. I'll finish this video off with Parfums de Marley Sedly. I love it. It's my favorite fresh Parfums de Marley. This and Greenly. I haven't tried Castly yet. It just came out, I believe, and I'm not paying full retail for it. I'm not going to do it. Can't get myself there. So I'll try it when I can get it for below retail. Might be a while, but I'm okay with waiting. And who knows, maybe it'll be so good that I would have wished I would have paid full retail for it, but I'm not going to find out until it comes on discounter, so we'll have to see. But for me, Sedly, that mint, that bergamot, that ambroxan, there's a ton of it. It just smells bright, fresh, airy, and uplifting. Generally kind of pricey. Every now and then it'll come down, in price on discounters to a more standardized $200, which is still a lot. You could go for Lattafa Mahir Legacy, which is $35 to $40, and it smells almost identical to Sedly. Alrighty guys, there you go. Some of my favorite blue fragrances, and in my opinion, just some of the best ones that you can get in 2025. I will link all these down below so you can pick these up. Like I said, if you're in the mood for some good deals, some rare finds, check out my mailing list. It's free and you can unsubscribe at any time, but it's a great resource to save some money on sales and to get some rare fragrances that you couldn't get otherwise, because generally rare stuff that comes into stock sells out quicker than you could find it on your own. So that's why I do all the work finding them and sending them straight to your inbox so you can choose whether or not you want to make the purchase or not. Check out Gorilla Mind, seriously. I love energy drinks and these are great. 0 sugar. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.